In this tutorial, we're going to recreate Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. This is the trap section towards the end of the track, and we're using BandLab in the Google Chrome browser. First step, go into Instruments. We're going to go down to Studio Grand, and we're going to type in 808. Scroll up a little bit and choose 808. Click away at the bottom, and then rename the instrument to 808 Drums. Next step, double-click in the track at the top, and that will activate the MIDI editor, which you can see has been highlighted at the bottom. Here I can hear the sounds of the 808 drums, and I can also input within the MIDI editor by double clicking. We're going to start by inputting this bass at the beginning of 1 and at the beginning of 1.4. We're then going to go to snare, which is going to be this one here, and we're going to put it in at 1.3 and also a clap at 1.3. We're then going to put the hi-hat in every second box. Let's listen to that. We're going to drag the bottom part of the track, not here at the loop, but somewhere down here so that we extend this to 3. We're then going to put a snare and clap at 2.3. We're also going to continue with the hi-hat in every second box. Next step, zoom in at 2.4, and we're going to use the G to turn on and off snapping to grid. Currently G is on, which means if I move this hi-hat, it will snap it to the next box. If I press G, that deactivates the snap to grid, and you can now see I can freely move it around. So I'm going to put G back on. I'm going to snap this right there to the beginning, and I'm also going to cut this in half just by dragging it in roughly to halfway. Activate G again and double click here. Turn off G again and slowly drag this one in so that it fills that second half. Turn G on again and it'll input and snap it to the grid. I can delete this note, input a new one. It will adopt the note length of the one in front. I then hit G to turn off snap to grid and move this one in. Turn it back on, snap to grid, double click, put another one here, turn off snap to grid and move it along. This is going to create the hi-hat roll that's so signature to trap drum beats. We're going to go back up here to the mix window. We're going to right click and choose copy. We're going to make sure we are on snap to grid. And to do that, we can go up to the project settings and check that this is on. It's currently off. If I press G again, it will turn on and you'll see the blue tick. That's a shortcut to check. And press paste here. I now have 2 sections of drums. I'm going to go into the editor and I'm going to delete all of the drums in 4.3 and 4.4. I can click and drag to highlight all of those areas and press delete. Then I'm going to go into 4.4 so that I have 4 boxes. I'm going to click to add one note. I'm going to add it to the first box, the third box, and the fourth box. Hit G to turn off snap to grid and move this one slightly to the left so that the right-hand side of the box is up against this white line. This is going to create the triplet feel. Let's listen to it. Next, click and drag so that you have both of these sections highlighted. Right click, copy, click on 5, paste. Making sure snap to grid is on will mean it will sit perfectly at number 5. The first section and the third section are the same, the second and the fourth are the same. Next, we're going to add the bass. Add track, virtual instruments. Go to Studio Grand, again type in 808, scroll up a little bit and choose 808 bass. Click 808 bass down the bottom to get out. Double click on instrument and let's rename it to 808 bass. Once you've added the 808 bass, drag it out from the bottom so that it goes to number 3. Double click or hit MIDI editor to go back in. Find G1. This is C. There's G. Double click and input a G. If it hasn't done it already, make sure it's dragged out to 1.3. You'll have to do that by grabbing the end of the note and dragging it out. Add another note at 1.4. Drag this one out to 2.3. Go back to the top and listen to that. Grab this circle arrow, the loop function, and drag that out so that it covers the entire 8 bars. If you listen to the real track, you'll notice that the bass has a sense of distortion in it. There are 2 ways that you can access the effects to add distortion. Click here, plus effects, or down the bottom, effects. Let's choose plus effects. Click in the effects presets box, and we're going to scroll to amped, and then choose bass distortion. In the fuzz screamer section, choose fuzz. Turn drive up to full, increase tone to about 7, and turn volume up to 4. Lower the threshold down to -60. Leave everything else as it is. Listen to the sound. Next, go to BandLab Sounds and click on One Shots. In the search area, type in Rimshot Snare. Listen to it and drag this sample over to your window. Drop it anywhere. Zoom in a little bit and make sure this is at 1.3. Press G to turn off Snap to Grid. Zoom in a little bit more. Drag this so that it's just in front of 1.3. Have a listen. You can adjust it to what you want. I'm going to drag it a little bit closer. It gives it the effect of a flam. Over in the channel settings, drag the pan dial so that it's on -20. That will send it slightly to the left. Listen again. If you're not already there, go to Effects, click on the presets, and type in Dub Verb. Scroll down past the featured items and choose Dub Verb. Turn off the delay, decrease the reverb amount to about 7%. Change the volume to about -8 dB. You can also do that here. Listen again. You'll hear that sense of space in the rim shot. Make sure Snap to Grid is back on. Copy the rim shot and place it at 2.3 and 3.3. Turn off Snap to Grid again, go in, and once again, move the rim shot slightly in front. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. In fact, that often sounds better if it's slightly different. Right-click on the Rimshot snare track and choose to duplicate the track. Set the volume to -19. Pan this all the way to the left. In the effects, change the reverb to 17. Press save. Move this rimshot closer to the start of the next box. Do the same for the other two. Again, they don't have to be perfectly the same. Open up BandLab Sounds, make sure you're in One Shots, and enter the words DVRKO 808 Demon C. Zoom out a little bit, check the sound, and drag it into a new track at 4.3. Make sure Snap to Grid is on, and then drag it again so that it's right on 4.3. Zoom in, drag it in so that it's one box long. Lower the volume to -8, zoom out, right-click on the track, copy it, zoom in a little bit, find the beginning of 8.3, and paste it there. Let's listen to the whole track. Go and listen to the original track and see how close yours sounds. And see if you can maybe record the vocals over the top.